what I hope will be the first of many happy discussions between us about what's going on here in London and what this mayoralty is doing and is going to do to improve the lives of people in London. And the first thing you should know, the first thing I want to tell you, is that in a couple of hours I will be fulfilling a pledge I made long ago and taking the Chiltern Hundreds, or the Manor of Northcote, or some other 18th century sinecure, I'm not quite sure which, and I will be stepping down from Parliament. And it will be a huge wrench for me to leave Henley, which is of course full of the nicest, kindest and most wonderful people in the world outside London. But I do so of course because this job here in City Hall is simply too big and it is growing all the time. And I don't want now to recite all the things that I'm pleased we've been able to achieve in the last month, but I do want to say something about the issue that remains the number one priority for me and for millions of people in this city. Since I became mayor on 1st of May, there have been 4 more stabbings of young people and 1 more shooting. And sometimes it feels like a bad dream. But I want to tell you that for the loss of every young life, me and my team become simply more determined to do everything we can to get knives off the street, but also to change the culture and to lead people away from the catastrophic cycle of aggression and revenge. We've made a start, as I hope you'll have seen, with Operation Blunt 2. More than 2,000 weapons seized, 210 arrests made, more knife arches and scanners, and over the next few months you'll be seeing, hearing a lot more from Ray Lewis and his team about what we're going to do to give young people the opportunities, the education, the role models, and the boundaries they need. And people will continually ask me, you'll continually ask me, when's it working? What progress are you making? When are you going to achieve what you're setting out to achieve? And the answer is, I'm afraid that I won't be able to tell you. All I can say is that I believe it is essential that we make a start and that we throw ourselves wholeheartedly into the struggle. And that is what we all at City Hall are going to do. And I just want to say finally a word or two about this mayoralty and its relations with the media. And I want to be as open as it is possible to be without imposing on your time, ladies and gentlemen. And I hope we give you pretty good access. Yes, no? All I can say is it's often difficult to fit in. It's often difficult to fit in all the interviews that we would like. I want in principle to follow the example of Mayor Bloomberg of New York. What he does, he goes out and about, he goes around New York doing this and that, opening this and that scene, talking to people, and that's what I'm going to be doing around London, addressing people, talking to them about the issues that matter to them, and you are more than welcome, of course, at every time to come along and to put your questions there. Can I make a final plea that people stop ringing me quite so much on my mobile phone, because I'm not only extremely bad at answering it, but my natural politeness means that I often make undertakings or give accidental interviews which later they get me into trouble. So I'd be very grateful if you could desist from ringing me on my mobile. I don't want to be evasive, but sometimes you may find that I don't always give you value that way. Anyway, are there any questions? If so, I'd be very happy. Yeah, please.
Thank you. I wanted to talk about the cocktail party on Tuesday weekend.
Yeah.
Were you prepared for that sort of reaction to your booze ban? And given that they say they are planning to do it again, how are you going to stop them?
I think the cocktail party on the Tube was, I think it's been anthropologically misunderstood, is my assessment of the cocktail party on the Tube. I think what we had there was a kind of exuberant Celtic-style wake for the passing of a long overdue passing of a customer. And I think a lot of people entered into the spirit of things, and it was very sad that a few people then got so wildly drunk, intoxicated, that they then wrecked it, and you saw the scenes of violence and disorder, which actually, I think, for most people, and bear in mind that 84% of Londoners at least support this measure, most people thought when they saw the scenes of violence and disarray and disorder that entirely vindicated our decision to change rules of carriage so that you can no longer drink alcohol on public transport in a way that is intimidating and racist for everybody else. Now, you did have a second part. How are we going to stop it happening again? I think that this will be, of course, there are 2,500 transport, police and community support officers who will be helping to enforce it over the next few months, but I hope, and obviously in a kind of optimistic way, I look to you to help with this. I hope that over time there will be a recognition that there has been a change on public transport and people will no longer feel that it is acceptable to drink in public on public transport, just as they no longer feel it's acceptable to smoke. And I think that over time this will become very effectively self-enforcing.